All right, we are now live on YouTube and Periscope. This is Ask AS21 on the 21st for April 2018. I'm Keith F. Shovlin, publisher of AS21 Media, here to answer your questions on book publishing, podcast production, and video production. I spent today at DC Author Fest in Washington, D.C. We were at the Library of Congress James Madison building on Capitol Hill. It was a long day thing, and then there was a happy hour afterwards, so I got home a little bit late, had dinner, took a quick nap, and unfortunately slept through the time that I was supposed to be doing this. So we're at 8:30, so now it's 10 o'clock Eastern time. A little bit late, but still on. Still want to make sure you take this opportunity. Anyone out there has any questions they want to ask on Periscope or on YouTube, you can go ahead and just ask your questions right on the interface, and they'll pop up in the group chat on YouTube or on the screen on Periscope. As requested from previous months, if I see questions come up, I know that not everyone will get to see the questions, especially if they pop up on Periscope. You can't see them on YouTube and vice versa. So I will do my best to read the question before answering it. It's been a busy day and a part of a busy weekend for us here at AS21. This is one of those weekends where you don't realize it when you plan it out, but it just suddenly everything kind of snowballs together into one big, beautiful mess of events and things. When we set out for doing a monthly poetry open mic at Walls of Books, we thought the third Friday of the month would work out pretty well, except for the fact that both this month and next month, it's the same weekend as a big book fair. Now, that one isn't that much of a problem. It's just a matter of the fact that we have to take time for an event on the Friday night, and then we have all-day book fairs the next day. So last night we were at Walls of Books for a poetry open mic. I was up on the chair reading some D.H. Lawrence. Then today I was in the Library of Congress exhibiting for what we called a show and tell display, because we were exhibiting on federal property and we were not allowed to have any sales. So I just had an example of several of our books, but only one copy out, whereas I usually have several. And then basically had just all kinds of information for the participants in the program. And then tomorrow is the day of the book festival in Kensington, Maryland. We'll be there all day on the main street of Kensington, Maryland, Old Town Kensington. And we'll have a tent set up and we'll have a full display. We'll be sharing our booth with one of our designers, Ronna Gaynor. She'll be bringing some of her artwork and be exhibiting as well. So we'll also have a couple creatives come out, so you'll have a chance to talk to us at AS21, see some of Rana's wonderful artwork, and then meet with some AS21 creatives. Not only will I be there, and Corey Parker, our chief of publishing, but also Thomas P. Atheridge, author of American Presidents at War, and James D. King, author of the Hive sci-fi series, will be there throughout parts of the day. So now, for those watching currently, that looks like no one currently watching. Well, we had a couple people at first, but they seem to have disappeared. So questions can just pop up on the screen as you go in. If you're watching and don't see the way to be able to send a question, you can always tweet to us. We're at AS21, AOIS21 on Twitter, or just use the hashtag AskAS21 and we'll see it. And we'll do our best. I will do my best to answer your questions in a timely manner. And of course, share the question with those watching as we go. Let's see. Where did my Twitter go? There we go. Okay. So yep, currently up on Twitter. Checking out the hashtag. All right. Nothing on the latest. Yeah, Twitter, where we have shared over 14,955 tweets. So we're just short of 15,000. And that includes, of course, the webcast you're watching right now was shared 6 minutes ago through Periscope, and also shared the live stream from YouTube. So that is weird watching myself in multiple windows now. and the one on YouTube is just a hair behind. All right, where did the window go? There's the window go. All right. Hello on Periscope. Thanks for watching. So today was DC Author Fest. I was one of about, aois21 was one of about half a dozen exhibitors for DC Author Fest this year, which is actually pretty low. Typically, the event features over a dozen exhibitors, but they were a little bit rushed this year. They announced the date about a month ago, and then 3 weeks ago opened up registration, and then I believe it was open for a week before they emailed press participants to let them know registration was open, and then they announced who was selected on this past Monday for the book fair today. So I imagine there are some people who would be interested that either did not register or were not available to actually come in. So there were, so it was a little bit on that front mismanaged, but as far as the people showing up, it was an excellent turnout considering how quickly it seemed to come together. I mean, but that's my perspective as a participant. They had a lot of good information there. There's plenty of signage. They had plenty of volunteers there to help direct people around. In the exhibitors room, we had a nice food display. I wasn't expecting to have any food available, and we had cookies and coffee and tea. One small quibble, they had the cookies and coffee and tea right inside the door of the exhibitors room. If you're going to do that, again, put it on the opposite side so people have to walk through the exhibitors to get to the food. Just a small thing, but it's small. It's good. Had some wonderful conversations with pair of editors that were Crossroads. There was the Writers Project, there's Johns Hopkins, and then the Washington Law Alliance for the Arts, which is an interesting organization I'll be looking into. So it was a good group of exhibitors, small group, but still a good one, but a very good sized crowd. We saw most of the crowd around lunchtime, right before lunchtime seemed to be a pretty good crowd coming through. And, I talked to a few dozen people, and, came back with far less materials than I went with, which is both good and bad, because that means I have quite a few less materials for Kensington tomorrow. That's what happens, unfortunately, when you have two book fairs back to back, and we didn't know that we were going to be in DC Author Fest until Monday, so not enough time to get new materials shipped out to us. So that's one thing. In the next order from Vistaprint, we'll be getting some new brochures printed up, and we should have those in time for the Gaithersburg Book Festival on May 19th. That's the next big book fair for us. There's other book fairs in the meantime. There will be the Literary Hill Book Fest at Eastern Market in Washington, D.C. at the beginning of May. Typically, they only welcome exhibitors who are in D.C., and since we're based in Northern Virginia, that's right just outside their scope. Thankfully, DC Author Fest in the past has only had DC-based exhibitors. Usually it was just authors, but this year they opened it up to literary organizations, which worked out pretty well because we were all the ones exhibiting were all literary organizations. And so we won't be able to go to Literary Hill Book Fest. And then there's the Washington Writers Conference as well the following week, and then Gaithersburg on the 19th. Now, Gaithersburg is the really big book fair in the DC area. I'll be talking about it in the aftermath when we're up with the May Ask aois21 on the 21st. So that's just the DC area for book fairs. A lot going on. And of course, across the country, we're having more and more book fairs being scheduled. I tried to keep track of all of them. I wish we could travel more to some of them, but make it work. Hey, how's it going? Talking about book production, book publishing, podcast production, video production. Any questions you might have, feel free to send them along. Owl? Are they okay? Okay, that's fine. So is April 2018. It's finally getting warmer here in the DC area. We keep on. It's like cold mornings but warm afternoons. It'd be nice once the season decides what season it's going to be. And we had hot days in winter, so you never know. Because I don't understand anything. I'm sure there's something you must understand. But yeah, so we're expected to have it high 60s and partly cloudy tomorrow in Kensington. So it'll be cold in the morning, but as the day goes on, it will get hot. I know under our tent, it'll be probably warm first thing in the morning. And then as the day gets warmer, it'll be cool underneath the tent. That's what it usually is. Okay. What's the only thing you know? I'm very smart. Oh, thank you. I try. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this is just a very packed weekend. I don't think we've had a weekend where we've had 3 events back to back like this before. Now, next month we do have, on the weekend, we have Poetry Open Mic hosted by Michael B. Judkins. Then we have Gaithersburg the next day, which will feature Judkins as well as Thomas B. Etheridge and James G. King and other aois21 creatives. Hopefully, Dr. Deepan Chatterjee will be there as well. And then we're trying to book an event for the Sunday. We haven't nothing yet. Oh, you're leaving? Oh, bye. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the compliment. Very kind of you. So, yeah, so I try to be. Commenter on Paris Films Club. I'll be sweet. I'm trying to be sweet. It's nice to be nice. Is that 2 stars? Sorry, it's hard to tell what's pops up on the screen sometimes. But yeah, it was an interesting day at DC Southwest. Oh, an old emoji. Okay. Oh, that's sirens. Fire truck going past down my street. That's not bad. Okay. See, I don't know. It's down a while down the street, so it's not in my neighborhood. I know that. Hopefully, it's nothing really bad. It's nothing I can see out my back window. So. I'm Keith. I'm Keith Shelvin, publisher of aois21 Media. Person asking how old I am 36 years old. What do I like? Got to be a bit more specific than that. General things? Well, as I was very clearly said today, several times at the Author Fest, I love books. I love to read. I work full-time as a librarian, part-time as a publisher and author. Drink, I'm pretty pedestrian. I don't drink alcohol. I just drink water and soda. Food, I'm not any special diet or anything. I mean, I watch my calories, but nothing special. When I said I answer questions, I wasn't meaning specifically about me. I mean, it's okay if you ask them. My favorite food, I would say, is probably a well-prepared ribeye steak. Kind where it's nice and juicy and just savory to taste and cuts apart pretty easily but doesn't fall apart. In my free time? What about in my free time? Do I have free time? What do I have? Well, I don't have much free time because I like to play pool, billiards. I like to watch hockey and read and play the occasional game. I don't have much free time because I'm a father too, so I spend a lot of time taking care of my kids. And when I'm not working, whether it be this job at aois21 or at the library. Yeah. The only reason I tend to have some free time is because I don't really get a lot of sleep. Yes, I'm a father. I've been a father for 7 years now, so it's not really something you have to say congrats. I'm not single. Definitely different questions I'm used to answering on here. Usually when people start asking me personal questions, no, I don't show my children on here. Thank you. Sorry. When people start asking me personal questions, it's more like what's my favorite book and what am I reading right now. So, no, it's okay. It's all right. No, it's just when it comes to this stuff I do online, I volunteer to put myself forward doing these webcasts and doing all the videos and everything. My children did not, and it's not my place to put my children up here. Respecting my children's privacy. And for those of you wondering, I'm actually going to reread Animal Farm this week, and I'm in the middle of going through Alan Alda's 3 books. Yes, I do. So I finished Alan Alda's second book, Things I Overheard While Talking to Myself. So it's interesting because it was him going back. Okay. It's interesting because it was him going back and looking over all the speeches and eulogies and commencement addresses he gave and just reading them and looking over the advice he given people. That was, of course, after reading his memoir, Never Stuff Your Dog, which covers the period up until, I believe, 2007. And then he has a third book that just came out, and it was just, I just got a message that it was in my upload onto my Overdrive, so I'll be listening to that. And what's nice is with audiobooks, I get Alan Alda actually reading it, so. But yeah, I'll be reading Animal Farm and then back into a third Alan Alda book. And then, cool. Okay. Quick check of Twitter. Oh, good. Did a lot of Instagramming and tweeting today from DC Author Fest, and nice to see some good responses from our friends on Twitter and Instagram, as well as some of the places that we were pointing out when we were. Our Instagram, it's a company Instagram, aois21.events. That's aois21.events. We only post stuff on there when we're having events. So this will be a big weekend for us because we had, yeah, you can follow me. Everyone's welcome. It's usually, and you won't see a lot of pictures of me on there. You'll see pictures of our setup and our location. So like last night, you saw the setup at Walls of Books for Poetry Night. Today, you saw us as we were sharing pictures as we were setting up at DC Author Fest. And tomorrow, we'll have a bunch of pictures from Kensington Day of the Book. Not only will we have pictures of getting set up, but also hopefully I'll share pictures with designer Rana Gaynor when she's there, and authors James D. King and Thomas B. Atheridge, and different people as we go around. And then sometimes when we see unique things, like when we go to Comic-Cons, we definitely do some Instagramming of some of the unique costumes we see. Try to get people in. Stay at home? No, I don't stay at home. I'm at home now, but it's because it's Saturday night. I've been out all day, and I'll be out all day again tomorrow, so tonight I'm in. And I had to be out the door they said we could come in as early as 8:30. I got to the library about 8:15. Got up, they had me sit in the hallway for a few minutes, then I went to set up. And it was an hour before any other exhibitors set up. And I definitely had the most stuff to put up, even without not doing any book sales. The amount of things we put out is still quite large. Did I say something funny? Okay. I don't really think that I'm funny. I think I laugh at my jokes more than anyone else would. Oh, it's very kind of you. Okay, so let's see. We're about 25 minutes in. We usually only do these webcasts for about 30 minutes. Sometimes if we got a good conversation going on Periscope or YouTube, we'll keep going. And in some months, like we've had cases where like YouTube had to shut down. So, and you're here and we're talking. I'm not gonna just cut it off in the middle of a conversation that we might be having. Well, it's nice to meet you too. All right, bye. So yeah, it's hard to believe we're getting towards the end of April already. This month has seemed to have gone pretty fast. In fact, that we're a month into spring and we're still having cold weather. I mean, I have a lot of friends up in Pittsburgh that were posting pictures of the snow coming down this week. For a month into spring, it still is way too much winter. Almost wondering if we should just give up on there being spring and fall and it just be winter and summer. Especially in certain parts of the country. Let's see. don't think there's anything else I need to cover. I think this coming week we'll be announcing the details of our birthday party. aois21 will be celebrating its 4th birthday officially on May 8th, but we'll be at Walls of Books for First Friday, I believe. It's 28th, 29th is Sunday, 30th is Monday, so the first Tuesdays. So May 4th, that's First Friday at Walls of Books from 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to get some food, maybe a cake, and celebrating the past year. Typically, when we have our birthday celebrations, we do a lot of announcements, like new books that might be coming out or anything. We're not going to be doing as much of that this year, more reflective. There might be some changes we're going to announce. And of course, we'll be announcing details on the upcoming 5th aois21 annual coming out in October. So we'll be announcing the dates for information about that. We're still working out some of the details on that, but I can already tell you that for certain there will be an aois21 annual this fall. It will include poetry, short stories, photography, art, essays, book excerpts, and local advertising work and charity advertising, and information about aois21 creatives and titles and upcoming books and currently released books and podcasts. It will be released in October. We will have a release event once again at Walls of Books where contributors will be welcome to come on out and read the contributions. We'll be doing advertising in SurveyMonkey for opening up. August 1st is when new contributors will be invited. We usually open up July 1st to past contributors to submit again. We might have some other deadlines before then, but we'll let you know. Some other details we still have to work out. But there will be a 5th aois21 annual, and that will be coming out this fall. We're looking forward to it. Not much more I can tell you about it because there's not much more to tell about it. There'll be more details, of course, at our birthday party. We'll be doing our year review. We'll be talking over some changes that may be coming forward, some plans that we are reviewing, and getting ready for Gaithersburg on May 19th. Then we'll be back here in a month for the next Ask aois21. Then June 9th and 10th, we'll be at Virginia Comic-Con when it comes up north here to Fairfax County at George Mason University at the Johnson Center. From what I've heard, it's going to be one of the most largest attended Virginia Comic-Cons yet, and they've got some pretty good crowds at the ones we've gone to down in Richmond, so it'll be really interesting to see how the Northern Virginia audience takes to it. Then that'll be it for a couple months. We'll still be doing literary game nights the first Friday of the month, and poetry open night the third Friday of the month at Walls of Books through the summer. Come September, there's one book fair we're looking into. Don't have details exactly on that just yet. October, we have 2 book fairs that we look to be attending. We will be returning to Frostburg, Maryland for the Western Maryland Independent Literature Festival. We had to miss it last year because it was the same day as the Fall for the Book Festival here in Fairfax County, as well as the Alzheimer's Walk. So we haven't signed up for the Alzheimer's Walk just yet. I'm not sure. I think the date might conflict, so we're looking into that now. And so, yeah, we have Western Maryland Independent Literature Festival on the first weekend in October, and then the following week is the Fall for the Book Festival at George Mason University and the surrounding areas here in Fairfax County, Virginia. And so we'll look forward to being a part of that. And hopefully again this year. We were there last year in their exhibitor tent, and we're hoping to be able to be there again and for a bigger turnout for the exhibitors, and hopefully doing what we can to help support that. And that will wrap up the touring schedule for the year. Unless there might be another Comic-Con. I don't know if we'll be taking part. And then we'll continue out the year with going to Walls of Books for game night and poetry. All right, so it has been about 31 minutes here on Periscope, slightly less than that on YouTube because YouTube for some reason just took a little bit longer to load. This video These from the time it started on YouTube will be shared on the aois21 YouTube channel. That's Ask aois21 the 21st, April 2018. It'll also be shared on the aois21 website, video.aois21.com. That's video.aois21.com. If you have any questions in future months, you can email us at pub@aois21.com, tweet to us at aois21, or facebook.com/aois21. And otherwise, see you next month, where I'll be on again, and feel free to ask your questions. We'll be post-Gaithersburg, so we'll have some insights to share from that. And it'll be post our birthday party, so any announcements we make at our birthday party, we'll be able to discuss. So, all right, so I am Keith F. Sheldon, publisher of aois21 Media, signing off for April 2018.